Array Radio Network and the Blue Hedgehog TV. We now interrupt your regular scheduled programming for the following sports special. This broadcast is presented by the authority of the International Motorsports Association for the private use of our audience. Any reproduction, rebroadcast, retransmission, or any other disseminations or the use of this broadcast, descriptions or accounts of this show without the express written consent of the International Motorsports Association is prohibited. On the PCS Array Sports Network from Learfield, welcome to the 2022 installment of the IMSA Podcast. Now, live from Yukon, Oklahoma, the voice of the IMSA Podcast, Daniel Voiles. Your show is here. The show is off to a very, very fun start here today. Welcome to a It's Snowing Outside edition of the IMSA Podcast after a very exciting time with all of our friends and all that. I'm trying to stay bundled up and warm in our amazing studios right here. And our expert panel, or panelist, is ready to talk about what in the world happened at Daytona International Speedway. We want to welcome to the programming. It's Nathan Orman, driver of the Mountain Dew Chevrolet for Nathan Orman Motorsports. Which we will talk about that on Triple P next week.
Yeah, on Triple P, we will talk about that, and also, what's going to be the future of my team?
Yeah.
I'll be retiring.
Yeah, and there's rumors that it could be called Orman Furling Motorsports, but we'll discuss that next week. So, it is snowing outside, folks. If you can tell from my bedroom window. I'll actually turn my camera on so I can show Ormy here. It is like snowing. It started snowing just about, I don't know, a few hours ago. There's a lot of ice in southeastern Oklahoma, so I kind of dodged a bullet big time because last time when we had this winter storm, which was like 2 years ago, we had ice, and I didn't have Triple P and all that. But thankfully, because there's no Triple P show this week, I just got a get-out-of-jail-free card. So it's only snow, and snow is not too bad. It's the ice and all that crap that's going down I-35. So it is currently in my area, if I looked at the temperature, 22 degrees. It's going to be snowing all through tonight. It's supposed to get down into the teens. And it's supposed to be snowing like this tomorrow. So the snow is going to be staying with us all the way through Thursday. But then we start warming back up into the 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60 range as far as that's concerned. Now, Ormy is wondering why this show was not Monday. If you didn't watch the Movie Express episode 3, I explained that because I didn't do that episode, I postponed the IMSA podcast to today to have it with panelists. So that way, I should notify Taylor that we are, quote, live. Give me 1 second. And there we go. Because of, I forgot to do episode 3 of the Movie Express. It was postponed to today, which, by the way, Movie Express episode 4 will be tomorrow, but the only thing is going to be whether or not I'm going to be going to work tomorrow. That's going to be a little borderline, but the Movie Express will be just me and me only, so, yeah. Ormy also answered my next question. That was going to be, since Ormy's no longer a Triple P panelist, would he still join us for IMSA Podcast? And, well, that answered that really well just now, so. Yeah. So Ormy just answered my next question, so we're in good shape. And, by the way, Ormy, don't look at your DM what I did earlier today. I don't know what Elmer, Elmo, and Kermit were doing over at 82nd Street last night. Yeah, so I don't even want to know what in the world they were doing. So we are going to recap Daytona, the first recap of 2022. Can you believe that, folks? Um, yeah, we're going to talk about the Michelin Pilot Challenge. We're also going to talk about the yeah. Like I said on the last episode, if you didn't hear it, we're covering all of the IMSA series for this year because we didn't do that last year, so we've made up to it. Yeah, we're gonna go over the pilot challenge results first, because they raced on Friday, and it was a stacked field. There was 48 entries on that list between the Grand Sport and TCR classes. So as I do for now for the pilot challenge results, I'm gonna do the same way as I do with the sports car championship, the WeatherTech Sports Car Championship, going through top 10 results in each class. And if Ormy has anything he wants to add on, jump right on in there. So, for Grand Sport, Stephen McClare, Eric Fullergis won the race. Owen Trinkle, Ted Giovannis second. Bill Overland, Dylan McAvin third. Tyler McQuarrie, Mark Siegel, and Tom Dyer got fourth. Robert Foley, Vincent Barletta, Michael Denny in fifth. Hugh and Matt Plum got sixth. Good runs for them. Trent Hinman, Alan Boyd Jefferson, seventh. Eric Foss, Jeff Mossing, eighth. NASCAR stars, Cup Series rookie Harrison Burton and Austin Cindric got ninth in one of the Mustangs. And completing the top 10 was Christian Stamenchik and Kenny Murillo. A few notables on here. Kevin Conway, former NASCAR driver, with Jack Hawksworth, IndyCar driver, and they got 16th. Chad McCumbee, former NASCAR driver, 17th. As far as that's concerned. Thank you for the new follow. Yeah. Yeah, Colin Brown. Haley Deegan, Chase Briscoe, 24th, which was a bit of a shame because Haley Deegan was actually doing really well and some idiot ruined her race, which that was a bit of a shame. So, shame for her finishing 24th. But hopefully she'll run some more IMSA races during the off time for trucks and Xfinity. We'll talk about that on next week's show of Triple P. Tim Lewis, Roy Block won the TCR class. Michael Lewis, if you didn't know, Michael Lewis has now won, I don't know, he's won 3 titles in GT3. He's now won 3 titles in GT1, if you didn't know that. He's like a 6-time national champion. He and Taylor Hager got second. Mark Wilkins, Robert Wickens got third. Story for Robert Wickens. This was his first race since his terrible accident at Pocono that we talked about on this show in 2018. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And a nice, well done result for him. But I know his IndyCar career is over, but that's still a good result. Tristan Herbert, William Talley 4th, Tyler Gonzalez, Ravani Stewart 5th, Steven Simpson, Michael Johnson 6th. There was another I was going to mention something real quick. There was another Johnson, Billy Johnson, who's a former IMSA champion, returned to the series, which was nice. Eric Rockwell, Alex Rockwell 7th. Patrick Wilmot, Andy Wilmot, Gino Manali 8th, Tyler Maxson, Mason Felipe 9th. Chris Miller, Mikey Taylor completed the top 10. Billy Johnson also used to run a few races, used to race in the Xfinity Series in place of Carl Edwards. So, yeah. Couple of drivers on here that were really disappointed, like Chad Gilsinger, who finished second at the runoffs. I saw him race in showroom stock B. Out of the race, 46th overall, 15th in class. Bit of a shame for that team. Victor Gonzalez had a bad day. Harry Gottsacker had a bad day. So, yeah. Grand Sport was total distance. They went 395 miles, which is the winner. They had 111 laps. Touring car, 380 miles, 107 laps. Fastest touring car, Tim Lewis, which was a 59.2, and Grand Sport was a 52.9 by Spencer Pumpelly. So there you go. Moving over to the Rolex 24. It was bonkers, if you ask me. So let's go over the top, what is it? How many DPI cars did we had entered? Let me look. There were, how many DPI cars? There was what?
7.
Okay. So the 7 cars, Tom Bloomquist, Elio Castroneves, Simon Pagenaud, and Oliver Jarvis were the winners of the Rolex 24. Congratulations to them, especially to Elio. And speaking of Elio, we're going to talk about his most recent shocking news on next week's Triple P show. You don't want to miss that.
And speaking of Elio Castroneves, that's his second straight Rolex 24 win.
Yep, Meyershank Racing back on top. Here's something funny. Meyershank Racing won the 50th Rolex 24 10 years ago. They just won the 60th. What's next? They're going to win the 70th? We'll have to wait and see when that comes around.
Also, one of the past couple of years for Elio Castroneves, he now has 2 Rolex 24 wins and an Indy 500 win.
And also, Acura starts off their season with a good result. Good result for Ricky Taylor, Felipe Albuquerque, Alexander Rossi, Will Stevens second. That's a good result for Rossi after he's had a couple of rough seasons. Alexander Rossi's had a couple of rough seasons in IndyCar. That's great to see him back on the podium. Will Stevens, an ex-F1 driver. Good job to him. Good start to the season for Ricky Taylor and Felipe Albuquerque. Luke Duvall, Ben Keating, Tristan Vautier, and Richard Westbrook complete the podium in the JTC Motorsports Cadillac. So as an Acura 1-2, one out of Meyershank Racing and one out of the what's the 10 team? The 10 car, the teams.
10 car for the DPI, that is Kanika Minolta Acura.
I know I'm gonna butcher that name up, but either way, still a good result for them. I feel like, and don't take me the wrong way on this, I feel like this was a good start to the year for Rossi. I mean, if he can show that going into IndyCar, I would be very happy for him on the deal. So anyway, moving to the rest of the results, we talked about Luke Duvall, Ben Keane, Tristan Vatti, and Richard Westbrook got third. Pippo Durrani, Tristan Nunez, Mike Conway got fourth. Rounding out the top 5 was the LA Cadillac of Kamui Kobayashi, Jimmy Johnson, Jose Maria Lopez, Mike Rockenfeller. They had issues overnight Saturday into Sunday morning. It's a bit of a shame for them, but at least they finished the race in 5th.
So we got Jimmy Johnson, former 1 driver, Kobayashi, Jose Maria Lopez, a former E driver.
Mike Rockenfeller, a former DTM driver. Yeah, current DTM driver. Speaking of current IndyCar driver, Marcus Ericsson ended up 6th with Alex Lynn, Earl Bambert, and current endurance driver Kevin Magnussen, and rounding out the 7-car field for Daytona Prototype International, Alex Palou, Ringer van der Zander, Sebastian Bourdais, and Scott Dixon. Such a shame for Sebastian Bourdais, who just announced he was not returning to IndyCar and he's going to be focusing full-time on endurance. So, bit of a shame for him to start off his season on on the wrong foot, if you ask me. So, bit of a shame for him. Dragon Speed won LMP2 with Delvin DeFrancisco, Patricio O'Ward, another IndyCar driver, Colton Herta, another IndyCar driver. My word, IndyCar drivers. Let's see. Elio Castroneves wins DPI. 2 more IndyCar drivers win in LMP2. They got Rolex watches. And here's the funny thing. I believe Patricio O'Ward is. I don't know. No, I don't think he is the reigning. No, I'm thinking about somebody else. But anyway, them and Eric Lux won LMP2. Gio Vandergarde, Dylan Murray, Renus VK, that's another IndyCar driver, and Van Aert got second. Fernand Hasberg, Lotharinden, Jonathan Ferrano, Luis Delatraz, Rube Pinato, Andre got third. They completed the podium. Scott Huffaker, Nicholas Lapierre, Ben Keen, Mikael Jensen got fourth. Rene Raskin, another DTM driver, Francis Hello, Oliver Ragnarsson, Ed Jones fifth, Will Owen, James McGuire, Guy Smith, Phil Hansen sixth. Seventh was Paul Luke Chetan Meridian, Kyle Tilley, Ryan Delez in seventh, and I think that is it. Oh no, Harry Tinkle, Stephen Thompson, Jonathan Barano, and Josh Pearson. 8th. 9th, James Allen, Luca Giotto. I hope that's not a driver that we're talking about from the TM Master Cup Series. Trevman Vander Helm and John Falb were 9th. Completing the top 10 and the field, Nico Mueller, another DTM driver, if I'm correct. Dennis Anderson, Anders Forgebach, and Fabio Schweider. Do what?
Fabio Sire.
Yeah. So.
Nice. And when you up to top 10, we got Paul Chatin, Ryan Dalzell, Dwight Merriman, Kyle.
Ryan Dalzell, I think, used to be a IndyCar driver. I could be wrong. So, yeah. Hi, Sean. Sean's in the chat saying hi. Yeah, with his poke. Yes, LMP3. The top 9. There were 9 LMP3s in this field. Felipe Fragra, Gar Robertson, Michael Cooper, and Kevin Burlow were the winners.
Second is Mal Barbosa, Mal Jacobson, Sebastian Krill, and Lance Wilsey.
Barbosa, former Rolex 24 winner back in 2009. Colin Brown, George Kurtz, Nick Johnson, Jonathan Bennett third. Gabby Chavez, another IndyCar star. Jarrett Andretti, Josh Burdon, and Rasmus Lindy got fourth. Completing the top 5, Matthew Bell, Lars Kern, Kuno Whitmer, Ori Ferdani. 6 was Nolan Siegel, Cameron Shields, C.R. Cruz, and Jorg Wilde. Garrett Giss, Nico Pinto, Dan Goldberg, and Hakuro Abbey got 7th, or Ab. Excuse me. 8th was Trent Estep, Antoine DeQuinn, Mark Cavani, Austin McCusker got 8th, and then Joel Miller's entry with Artin Ori, Mortiz Krantz, and Efren Castro completed the 9-car field. Now, GT in the Pro GT, the GT Daytona Pro category, we had the 2 Porsches on the last lap collided, which was Matt Campbell, Felipe Nasser, and Matthew Gemmet. They held it together to win that category. Felipe Nasser, an ex-F1 driver. Good job to him. The Risi Ferrari 62, which is Davide Rigon, who, by the way, ran at Heartland Park Topeka in the runoffs in D Sports Racer, which was nice. Daniel Sierra, James Caldo, and Alessandro Piergordi, they ended up getting second. And if you haven't seen Davide Rigon race, I will put the link down in the description so you guys can go watch the D Sports Racer from 06. Lorenz Van Hoot, Dennis Olsen, Patrick Pellet, and Alexander Importari completed the podium. Jack Hawksworth, Ben Barnico, and Kyle Kirkwood in the Lexus fourth. Dirk Mueller, Patrick Asemacher, and Austin Cindric, who ran it in his first Rolex 24. Good job to him in fifth. I have a good feeling Austin Cindric might be a favorite to win a road course race with that result, and knowing how he did in the Xfinity Series, it could happen. Disappointing day for the Corvette boys of Antonio Garcia, Jordan Taylor, Nicky Kasberg, who had electrical problems on that deal. Looks like the throttle was the issue. Jesse Crone, Connor D. Felipe, John Edwards, and Augusto Farvis got 7th. 8th was Matteo Cararoli, Alessandro Bricarillo, Julian Adelauer, Cooper McNeil. They ended up getting 8th. Philip Ing, Marco Whitman. That's a couple of DTM drivers. Same with Sheldon Vanderlyn and Nick Yully. They ended up getting 9th. And completing the top 10 was Marco Sorensen, Tommy Miller, Nick Tandy in the Corvette Racing team. So Corvette Racing kind of underwhelmed in this race, but we kind of figured that was going to happen to them. And then in the GT Daytona category, Jan Hainlin, Richard Les, Ryan Hardwick, and Zachary Robichon were the winners. Spencer Pompelli, Jonathan Adam, John Potter, and Andy Lally got second. Mike Skeen, former NASCAR driver. James Davidson, current Cup Series driver. Good job to him. Stephen McAllers and Scott Andrews completed the podium. Nicholas Nielsen, Tony Valanders, Simon Mann, and Luis Perez Campansi for Jordan Pepper, Brendan Ivory, Frederick Skendorf, and Ollie Milroy were 5th. Philip Ellis, Mikael Jenner, Lucas Auer, and Russell Ward got 6th. Owen Trinkle, Ted Giovannis, Hugh, and Matt Plum got 7th. 8th was Maximilian Paul, Misha Goldberg, Frankic Perea, Matthew Larani. 9th was Roman DeAngelis, Ian James, Darian Turner, and Tom Gamble. And completing the top 10 was Robert Froley, Nick Booley, Stefan Wilson, and Catherine Leggs. So, at least Catherine Leggs, Catherine Leggs, whose car didn't catch on fire, if you ask me. There were 61... That was at Road America, so.
Yeah, she had a scary crash there.
Yep. All right. Now, your thoughts on the Daytona weekend.
That was an interesting weekend at Daytona. A lot of different winners and great racing. Next weekend is going to be like the same.
Yeah, but our next race weekend is not until March, which we'll get to that in just a second. All right, for the first time on the IMSA Podcast, give us a rating. Dung. Okay, that was probably the worst song in the world, but anyway, rate IMSA Let's try it again. Rate. Let's rate the weekend before I stutter on my words. Great! I did it on the stream! Wonderful!
Okay, let's go in the funny moments of 2022.
Oh, for the love of Pete. That better not go in the quotes chat. Oh, wait. Orman's already putting it in the quotes chat.
No, I'm not putting it that. I'm not putting it that, but I'm
Oh, wonderful. Okay. Let's rate. Let's rate it before I have another stuttering attack. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Anyway, rate the weekend. Start with the Michelin Pilot Challenge race, and then we'll end off with the Rolex 24.
Okay, Michelin Pilot, I'm gonna give it an 8. Rolex, I'm gonna give it a 9.
For me, I think the big surprise for me as far as the Pilot Challenge, the qualifying that Hailie Deegan had, even though she did miss one of the practice sessions because Austin Cindric had to fill in, so that was kind of a bonus. So there you go. That was probably one of the big surprises. Hailie Deegan, that was probably her best qualifying in IMSA to date. I will give that a 9 on that one for qualifying. For a race perspective, I will also give it a 9. Rolex 24. Someone said they had, how many cautions did they have in that race, Ormy?
44 hours of Daytona 2022.
Rolex 24 for me was really entertaining. Give me a solid 9.
Still finding out how many cars and flags there were.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, there's a lot of cautions.
I got the answer right here.
What?
There were 17. I kinda expected it was going to be 17 because like I said, there's 61 cars.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I'm going to give my rating a 9, a solid 9.
Yeah, and 43 cars finished the race.
So that would mean if I do my calculations on that, 18 drivers did not see the checker flag.
61 minus 43. Yeah, you're correct.
All right. Okay. So that was pretty much how that race went down. Nothing as far as IMSA news is concerned, because I've not seen any news that I need to be aware of. So let's see here. I can check. Little program note: if you did not see the Pilot Challenge race, it's up on YouTube, so you can go check that out. Let's talk about the MX-5. Yeah, I was watching the highlights of the MX-5 race, and my word, they were racing in rain. I wish we had some rain in the Rolex 24 just to make it interesting. Otherwise, my rating would have been a 10, if you ask me. So. Yeah, I heard there was one car that caught on fire. Going into what is now going to be called the Le Mans chicane, that bus stop we always talked about. Yeah. So here's what we have. Fastest lap from the Rolex 24. The Cadillac Racing 01, 36.6. LMP2, the PR1 Matheson Motorsports 52 that won, 37.7. LMP3, the AWA 13, they ran a 144.4. The GT Daytona Pro, 15 WeatherTech Mercedes, 46.9, and then the GT Daytona 21 Ferrari AF course, they ran a 47.0. So that's the teamwork, the endurance, teamwork, and speed award presented by Crowd Strike. And of course, we have another endurance race. However, it's half of what we had at Daytona, and that's the Mobile One 12 Hours of Sebring, which we also have the World Endurance hopefully being there, and hopefully we'll run the race as planned, barring any issues between now and then. So, there you go. So that will be interesting if you ask me, so.
Yeah, so, yeah, that's the next round of IMSA, the
Yeah.
12 hours of Sebring.
And speaking of that, let's talk about the Mobile One 12 Hours of Sebring. It's the second endurance race on the on the calendar, and it's of the as far as the what is it, the oh no, you had to say that, Sean.
Oh, come on.
Anyway, it's the second endurance cup, the Tequila Patron Endurance Cup. Jeez, I can't get it out of my mouth. But anyway, it's going to be a fun race. Like I said, we're going from day to night, and it will be on. I think it's going to be on USA Network, if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check. I need to check the TV schedule for IMSA.
And also, this is going to be the first race of the World Endurance Championship at
Yeah, hopefully, keyword, hopefully.
Let me check the,
Anyway, we'll save that for another time. All the classes will be there. We'll also have the pilot challenge there. To me, it should be a good race. We should see.
the schedule for March 18th for the World Endurance Championship.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what. I'm trying to figure out what. I'm trying to.
Also, the World Endurance Championship has the prologue, which is the qualifying race for the Rolex 24. It's a pre-season.
We also have the prototype challenge that will also be there, so we're looking forward to that.
Oh yeah, we got a lot of races.
Yeah, what I was trying to get ready to say before the interruption was, I'm trying to see if it is confirmed if Sebring will be on NBC or if it's USA Network. Because let's see, Sebring, that's what I want. Oh, here it is. Let's see. Oh wait, here it is. IMSA will have the IMSA TV will have the Mobile One 12 Hours of Sebring. That's on the IMSA TV radio network. USA will be live at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. They'll take you through the rest of that. We also got, and Ormy forgot to know this, the Carrera Cup. The Porsche Carrera Cup will have a couple of races. And then we will have the LNJ Automotive Network 120 at 4:30. You can also see that race on USA Network at 11 a.m. Eastern on March 28th. And one key, you got to respect the bumps, especially turn number 17. Yep. Because if you don't respect the bumps, it's going to be a long race.
Yep. Long race for you and your team.
Mm-hmm. So we're definitely looking forward to that. Now, keys to the race. Now, strategy is going to be a key factor. Hopefully, Jimmy Johnson has a better luck at Sebring this time around, if you ask me. A couple of IndyCar drivers are going to have to do double duty in that regard to go from Sebring over to the other to IndyCar, and that's going to be tricky, if you ask me.
Yeah, because IndyCar also has the first race, the Firestone Grand Prix of St. Petersburg.
And that's going to be a little in March.
In March.
No, Sebring's this month.
In Texas.
Yeah, Texas. That's what. Yeah, you were meant to say Texas. They're racing this month.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, this month they're at St. Petersburg.
Yep. But either way, looking forward to what will be a good one. I also think you not only respect the bumps, just don't get too greedy because, like I said, this is a 12-hour race. We just did a 24-hour race. You got to respect. You just don't need to be aggressive. You need to make sure your car is really good and just make it to the end. That's it. Because, like I said, it's only 12 hours. It's half of the 24. So, there you go. So, yep, that's something we're definitely looking forward to that. Let's take a look at this week's upcoming PCS Array events. As I stated at the top of the show, there is no Triple P show this week because, well, Sean doesn't want to watch the Clash. I don't know if Ormy's already aware about this, but Saturday, and I didn't bring this up last week, my bad. Saturday, in case you all don't know, or if you've been sleeping under a rock, I have a race coming out at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
And that's the class.
It's actually the Advanced Auto Parts Clash at Daytona. Yeah, but I call it the Advanced Auto Parts Clash. But you get what I mean. So, anyway.
But I call it the class for short.
Yeah. But anyway, stars that raced in 2010 to 2015 will take to the track at Daytona for a prize. The winner gets $500,000 in prizes and all that. I think last place still gets like 250. So the prize money is will be half the field gets $500,000, the other half gets 250,000. So there you go. So that's something I'm looking forward to. It is, I believe, an 8. Let me look at the what time do I have the race scheduled for as far as Eastern Standard Time is concerned. It is 7:30 my time, so that is an 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as far as that race is concerned. Yep, 5:30 Pacific, so there you go. As I said at the top of the show, we have oh, what am I thinking of? Got the Movie Express tomorrow.
Yeah, which is episode 4.
Yep, episode 4. There was something else that's coming out. I need to check my channel to see it. And let me give me a second.
What else? Nothing else is coming.
Oh! I need to go ahead and I need to schedule this one real quickly. Actually, Saturday Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time will be the next episode of the F1 2021 My Team Career Mode Season 3, the Austrian Grand Prix. I've already done that race. Nobody has seen what happened in that race, so you'll get to see that on Friday. So Friday and Saturday are busy racing days, and we're definitely looking forward to that. That's a look at this week's upcoming awesome events. Of course, Triple P will be back next week. We'll talk about the the Saudi Arabian E-Prix that took place, which is the Diriyah E-Prix, and all that. We'll preview the Mexico City E-Prix from the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez in Mexico City. Make our predictions, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and don't help me, I can find it, I believe that race is only a one race, which if that is indeed the case, okay, that means we'll only have 1 point per category as far as that's concerned. And then the following and then the following week, when NASCAR heads off to no, it's not the following week. Following week will be NASCAR. But then the week after that, when NASCAR heads off to Fontana with Xfinity and Cup, we'll have our first predictions with IndyCar. So we're definitely looking forward to that. All right, Ormy, any takeaways you want to say about Daytona before we get out of here and try to get us a party with Sean and Jared in the Friends server on whatever the heck they're doing in there?
It's been a blast at Daytona for IMSA. A lot of causes for the Levitech race. 17 of them that's insane. Hopefully the next race at Sebring, we have a fewer causes than that. Hopefully we have a fantastic race.
And the one thing I want to say, could fuel mileage come into play? Saw that one time in the Pilot Challenge race. It could come into play at some stage in the race. Alright, I will see you over in the friend server as I will wrap up this show. So, yay. Alright, so, yep. So, there you go. We'll get Taylor's ratings off the air, so there you go. But looking forward to that, and it should be a blast so far. So, special thank you to everybody in the chat, and for Nathan Norman and Zachary Taylor, also Nathan Norman running the show back in our PCSRA Network studios and all that. It's been great. The Oklahoma Highway Safety Office is a proud sponsor of the Blue Hedgehog TV and wants to remind you that drinking and driving is deadly and illegal. Together we can end DUI. Visit enduyok.com to learn more. Congratulations one last time to all the class winners at Daytona International Speedway. The next time we'll see you on this show will be in March. Hopefully not snowing, but sunny as well. One more bit of announcement before I get out of here and get ready to stream the British GP on Twitch. I have a little announcement to make. Coming in June, there is a chance the movie Express could be going on the road to Salt Lake City, Utah. Yes, I could be taking the trip to Salt Lake City. And I'm really looking forward to that. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, yeah. All right. So, IMSA Podcast, we will see you in March. We'll see you guys tomorrow for the Movie Express episode number 4. And hopefully you enjoy the F1 2021 My Team Career Mode from Austria so far. For everybody and our entire crew, until March for the IMSA Podcast, and until tomorrow for the Movie Express, this is Daniel Vole saying, Boomer Sooner, everybody! PCSRA fans, thanks for watching today's episode of the IMSA Podcast on the Blue Hedgehog TV. Today's broadcast was brought to you by Del Taco, Home Depot, Love's Travel Stops, Subway, and by Chevrolet. Thanks for joining us for the IMSA Podcast. Copyright 2022 by the International Motorsports Association and